we found a place where we can get internet, but this is not where we sleep. We can't sleep here, so we're basically still waiting to sleep. Um, I don't say where I'm sleeping for a reason, so don't say where we are, because the thing's on black anyways, babe. I don't say where I sleep. I don't mean to be mean. Like if people were looking for a place to sleep, I don't say where I'm sleeping, especially on the World Wide Web. Okay. Clearly, homeless people are hunted by the other species. Okay. So if you don't believe that's true, don't even listen to the sound of my voice. It's called free speech. I'm not forcing you. It's a live stream. Okay, it's not Twitter. I'm not at replying you. Clearly, homeless people are hunted by the other species, so we can't tell people where we sleep, even when we might want to help out other people about where we sleep. Okay, because then the excuse becomes if there's too many people or something. Okay, there's wackadoodles out there, and then it forces the police to have to tell people to move because it becomes dangerous. So, anyways, it's a little bit different from when we were out here before. Okay. Um, Sometimes, like I said, I don't know in terms of sprinklers if people started turning on the sprinklers at night or if that's a seasonal thing. Okay, I really hope it's a seasonal thing. We're not getting that insane. So it's later until I can lay down now. So this is part of the crimes against humanity, by the way. I don't live in Quincy. I'm not a Quincy resident. I didn't live in Quincy. I lived in Claremont, Florida, and I grew up in Dedham, Massachusetts. I've never been a Quincy resident. The shelter in Quincy has no space. They do not give me a bed there. I have to sit up in a chair all night, and I have a medical condition that's not gonna work. Okay. So now I have to stay up even later because apparently that's what people were told. That's what I was told. In the place where I was sleeping, now there's sprinklers that go off in the middle of the night or whatever it was, 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And we got to be up at like 5 o'clock to get out of here in the morning. Okay. So, anyways, some things that seem like insane, but I'm explaining myself to you. Okay. I owned 3 houses. I lived in 3 houses. I didn't just pop out on the street homeless. Never in a day can I recall just wandering around public spaces at night from my house. I don't remember ever doing that. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. It's just one of those little things. I just said to my husband, it's sort of like if I was writing a script in the, what's it called? Secret Service? Performance art. Um, it's sort of, I would never say this in a million days, and it is go. You know I'm waiting for you to die, right? Okay. Why do you persist on being around us? Why do you persist on being around us? We're clearly not bothering you people. Right, you need to think. Look at the TV. Okay, what's going on in Chicago? Are we doing that here? No, we're not. Okay, we're very respectful. We don't do weird stuff in front of your children. We don't pull our pants down. We're not shitting on the ground. Even when you close off toilets, we don't do it. Okay, we're not looting your stores. Why do you persist on being around us even when there's not really any logical reason to do so? One thing that angers me too, this sort of has crossed my mind about people who are ill and like you have had these debates about the death penalty, okay, and then go see. So some people deserve to die, okay. That is why God is extincting you. Give it a second to sink in, okay. Give it a second to sink. So what you're saying is any person who actually believes that people are born good and then things happen to them and we should try to understand them, okay, you are going to holocaust those people until we agree with you that some people deserve to die. That's why God is extincting. It's part of psychopathy and it ranges every belief you have. I guess I was just watching that video by that guy where they're saying it proves the point. Did you prove that everybody thinks like you, that some people deserve to die? Or did you prove my point? That people like you make murderers. Rather than changing your way of thinking, thus for the world reality that you control, you chose to make everybody filled with hate. That's why God is extinct. So, anyways, yeah, issues with the internet. One of the things that I'm pretty sure happened now, where I thought that the library shut their internet off, it has to do with the telephone, okay, because there's a mental derangement going on where they have to burn out the data, okay. So that becomes a war battle. And I know that they're doing it too. Whoever's providing my data for the phone. I was at Star Market today, and it actually interferes with my phone connecting to Star Market because I have that Wi-Fi shut off. I have that Wi-Fi shut off that I get through the phone service. It's sort of like when they had to run out my snap card. It doesn't have to have a meaning when you're mentally insane. Just explaining it. So I had to keep connecting and disconnecting, connecting and disconnecting in Star Market, and then finally it went through on my phone. Right, because if you don't shut your Wi-Fi off on your phone and you're like connected at a library or Star Market or something, and that connection is lost, and you don't realize your phone automatically goes back to your data. Okay. That's another thing that someone figured out how to do, where you do a little blip in the internet that you're on, and then your phone connects to your basic um, internet for your phone plan. And then, unless you go in and switch it back to what you were, right, you got to keep it shut off. So that's what I've done, especially with these live streams on my phone that have to be uploaded to YouTube like a video, and sometimes it takes an entire day. Okay, so I actually shut off the data when I'm not connected to a different Wi-Fi network, because sometimes you have to have that in an emergency, and I explained it. You have to have internet to order a lift and to check your banking and get your emails. Also, I was still having an issue with texting um, when I was texting with my sister about her picking me up at the thing and stuff. Yes, I sat right in her apartment and we talked about it. And then she sent a text that I never got when she was out of the apartment. And then I think she sent another one in the apartment, and it took a day for me to get it. Okay. Texting has nothing to do with data. That has to do with like your phone service and your texting. It's not internet data. And I was sitting in her apartment connected to her internet. I never had my data on. I did this before once, and that's when I knew that they were full of shit. At first, they tried to tell me that I burnt it all out by listening to music on YouTube. Because I was like, when am I actually using the internet? I'm always at a library, or at that time, I was going to the airport in the morning. I'm like, and I was in a warming center all night long that had internet. So I go, when am I actually using my internet? They tried to say it was from YouTube videos, so I stopped doing that, and they still did it. I think it was like last month or the month before. They said I was out of data the first week. Here comes a bunch more people. I don't know if these people are afraid to walk on sidewalks or something. Yeah. No, wait for it. Wait for it. What are you talking about? It's a fucking public park. It's a public library. Is it? If it's a public park or it's a public library or it's a public something, that's why you people are out at night walking around where homeless people are? No, just answer me. Is that why? Like in Washington, D.C., no one does that. Just an FYI. No one. I was there in 2019, and then I was there in 2023. Okay. So you're just being asked why you're doing it. And if it sounds crazy and fucked up that a person would ask why you're doing it, Why are you doing it with homeless people sitting in public areas? Why are you doing it? Why can't we put tents up? Why can't we sleep here and there? Okay. Because you're fucking insane. That's why. You're insane fucking monsters. That's what public fucking lands mean, right? Insane fucking monsters. Obviously, no one gives a fuck. Because if they did, they'd start fucking arresting you people for walking around, for walking your fucking dogs, for walking around, for sitting on a fucking bench. Yeah, that's what they would do if they gave a fuck. And then go, and then you as a public something where you can't be here. The homeless don't want you here. It's like, this is where they are, and they're trying to have relationships, and they're trying to have a place to go, and it's a public area, so you need to be in your fucking housing. Right, you need to get in your housing, you need to move. That's exactly what we're saying. Yep. You need to move. You can't have your dog here. Okay? Because that's your apartment. Get in your fucking apartment. Is that your house? Get in your fucking house. Camping? No, you're not camping here. Because this is a state campground. You're not camping here. You need to move and get into the fucking house. That is your shelter. You need to get into it and stop hanging around here. Some people already call people breeders. I've heard that like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or maybe the homies. Yeah. Well, if you breed enough, our numbers will increase. Right? Our numbers are going to increase because you have to take more and more of our land and our houses and throw us into a fucking city, and then tell us we can't be on public property and public lands. Fucking homies. Not if it gets you to the point where you're actually like going to attack one of them. No, you can't do that. But just little things that without actually being given time to just talk like that, because you can't talk to them. You can't talk to them. They just start screaming at you. They don't pause for a moment for you to speak. That's crazy. What's her problem? Whoa, aren't we really nasty today? Another thing, even if I was a homie, okay, is the business with dog piss and shit. I had dogs on my own fucking property, not on public property. So if you knew that a bunch of people that had nowhere else to fucking go and sleep and you persisted bringing your fucking dogs there to piss and shit, you're upset. Yes. So you need to go to your shelter, which is your home, because you're not the terrible, bad, homeless people. You don't need to act like lands because you have private lands where you go. And of course, your stores. Your South Shore Plaza that you insisted would remain stores, and then people lose fingers and toes in the wintertime. And then doctors and nurses are bombarded with these people. And some of them actually listen to us when we speak. Yeah, they take blood tests and stuff and know we're not on drugs as if that's a crime. You're not on drugs? One. Shit. No, I was like, what are you talking about? We have like a pound and a half of tobacco in a box of tubes. Okay, we can move. I'll shut off my live stream. I don't debate, no, I give speeches where it's my turn to talk. Yeah. So apparently the guy said that there was one author of the Holy Bible. I would agree with that. Okay. And that it's pretty grandiose to believe that people wrote the Holy Bible. That is out there. I think he's suggesting that if you had a bunch of people typing on Twitter, okay, and they were sort of all in accordance about what they were quote unquote thinking at the time, that that has to be God doing that. It actually proves it if you're stating 4 people did it. If you, what's that word? When they talk into the thing at the courtroom, but they used to have to type it, you're a stenographer. Okay, you're not the author, correct? Okay, say somebody um, was blind, okay, and so they had an auto tell you a book and you were just typing it for them. Are you the author of that book? No, you're not. And people don't know what BC era. There's not a way they know that. Only in my opinion, in my experience, most people that refuse to accept that God wrote the book, it's because they don't like what they think the book is saying. It doesn't even mean that's what the book is saying, but in my opinion, it's because they don't like what the book is saying, what they think it's saying. So they say it's not God. It has to have somebody else's opinions in it. I would say that they must have interrupted me